Good afternoon, evening, and welcome to Exploring Hyperspace Lanes. I'm Adam.
And I'm Josie.
And did we talk about how many pieces of food are acceptable to drop in a movie theater before it's a problem? Did we talk about that on here?
No?
Okay. This wasn't me. This was something I was privy to while I was seeing a movie a few weeks back. Um,
Okay.
so I went to see what was it, Megan M. Thregan, that movie with the robot
Hmm.
girl. So I went to see that, and the guy next to me,
Threegan, right?
yeah, M. Thregan, yes. So I'm sitting there, and I always get a seat where there's an empty seat next to me because I'm going by myself and I don't want someone to sit next to me on the edge. I'd rather just have the seat. This motherfucker buys a seat next to me in a very open theater, which is just suspect behavior to begin with. Um,
He wants to set your no-nos.
I was like, this guy's a public masturbator, or he's gonna kill me. Um, Thankfully, neither of those happened. But throughout the course of the movie, you know the noise a Skittle makes when it hits the ground?
Yes. Like a hard
Yeah,
surface.
like a hard
Yes. It
like
sounds like you threw a dice on the floor.
yeah, or you're playing marbles. This
Yes.
guy every 5 to 8 minutes dropped some candy on the floor that he was eating. I don't know if it was a Skittle or if he was eating, if it was like unpopped popcorn or what it was.
That's probably what it was.
Every 5 to 8 minutes, tick, 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 tick. And then after a certain point, you just feel like, fuck, like that. And I'm just like, it's really not that hard to get food into your mouth. It's really not. So the question I posit is, how many missed pieces of food into your mouth um is it before you're like, maybe I should go and see a doctor because something is very seriously wrong with me? It's like it's just fucking ridiculous. Uh, So so yeah, that was an experience. That was like a month ago. Yeah, so
I think you messaged me something about that, and
yeah, something about
I was like, I don't know. Did you actually even say anything? And you said no.
what
And
the
I
fuck am I
said,
gonna
then,
say? Like, what am I gonna do?
then
Turn to him like, excuse me,
I
sir.
guess it was
Like,
that was the number that was under the number that somebody would say something.
well, I don't think there's a number where I would have said something because if it happened
Exactly.
after a certain point, I'm just like, this person obviously has something wrong with them because like this is not normal behavior. Number one, buying that seat alone because it's an assigned seat theater, like buying that seat alone is
Yeah,
not normal behavior. Like to the point where one time I was going to see
that
the
was the guy
Fablemans.
next to you.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't realize it was the guy that had sat next to
yeah.
you.
Like I texted, like I was gonna buy tickets to the
That's so
Fablemans back in
funny.
November, and it was an open theater except for one person who bought a seat in the back corner. So I picked the seat right next to him and took a screenshot and sent it to Peter. And so I'm gonna make a new best friend. Like, so I didn't buy that seat because I'm not a sociopath. Um, but
Hmm.
like I like to buy that seat alone is strange behavior.
No, you're
And
not wrong. So I think here's my theory
okay,
is he was playing the old if I drop them like drop it, they'll pick it up. But it was a date rape roofie drug and he was trying to get you to pick it up to
I
take
don't
it.
think I see. And if that's the case, if that's the plan, it's one thing to drop it and be like, well, maybe they'll pick it up. Like maybe he wanted to see my ass or something. If that's your theory, but to think like, oh, I'm gonna drop food on the ground and then he's going to eat it, really says a lot about what you think of me. Where it's like, no, I'm not gonna eat food off the ground that, might I add, was dropped because he attempted to get it in his mouth but hit his face on accident and dropped it. So it rolled off of his face, down his body, onto the floor, which it's a movie theater and it's a carpet, so it's not clean.
he was gonna like, I don't know, reach out at the same time you were, and
Oh yeah,
then
it's a romantic
but you guys
moment.
were gonna both be low, and then he was gonna chloroform you.
Yeah, there we go. That see, that's a more likely scenario. If we're going to go into this weird scenario. Um, so there's just been a lot of really weird things happening at the movie theater lately. Like I went to see Quantumania on Thursday, and I don't like to use the bathroom in my movie theater because it's not clean. I don't know what kind of people go to Stony Brook University, but like they have the aim of stormtroopers when it comes to trying to pee in a toilet, and it's just fucking everywhere. There's just piss everywhere in that fucking bathroom. So I had to go to the bathroom now. So I went in, and there's a guy vomiting with the ferocity that I'm like, this isn't a Target bathroom when you went there to pick up an anti-nausea medication, like my situation a few weeks ago. This is a movie theater. If you're so sick that
He's hung.
vomiting,
That dude was hungover. That
it
guy
was
was
fucking
partying
6:30 at night.
Yeah. Or no, that guy had been drinking.
I don't know. I think that like I've never gone to a movie
They were
drunk.
out partying. Yeah. They
It
were
was
having
a
a good time.
Thursday too.
Thirsty Thursday.
I don't know if that's a thing anymore. And that was
I
something
mean, yeah.
that was something that always bothered me because it's like, do you really need an excuse to get drunk? Just say you're getting drunk. Like it comes off like a way you're trying to keep yourself from being judged. Like, oh well, I have to drink. Like it's Thirsty
Um,
Thursday. Like
I don't think that that's what people
it was definitely
look
an
at it as.
excuse. It was definitely an
No, it's
excuse.
not used as an excuse.
It
It
definitely
was more of
was.
like a celebration of like, heck yeah,
Okay,
drinking
it's
on a Thursday.
okay. Not used as an excuse. That's the wrong way. It's an excuse to get drunk.
Yeah.
In the same way Mardi
So is
Gras
going
is.
out.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
I
You
don't drink
gotta
though.
have an excuse to drink, or it's, you know.
Sad.
I wasn't gonna say that.
Um, yeah, so tomorrow is Mardi Gras, so there's gonna be a lot of drinking tomorrow. Not by me, but by other people. Um, so
Why not by you?
I don't drink. I've never you've known me for 10 years now. Have you ever known me to drink?
No, I guess not.
Yeah.
But I guess I assumed like you'd grown into it or something.
No, I think that if you don't start that early, I don't think it's something you develop over time. Like,
Yeah, you start to get like your palate changes and it becomes
yeah, I think palate changing and willingness to get shit faced. Like if you're gonna start drinking, you got to start that young. Because like after a
what?
certain point, if you get
Oh, you mean drinking to get shit
yeah,
faced?
I think if you drink in excess and you start doing that as close to 30 as we
No,
are,
no, no. Just drinking.
that's just
It's not
alcoholism.
always an excess. It always in excess.
Oh, so what? So I go home, I grab a beer out of my fridge, and I'm like, after a long day of work, I like to sit down with a nice cold Bud Light, like that kind of thing.
Oh, no, like good whiskey.
See, that's
Like,
an expensive hobby.
oh, okay.
Uh, Yeah, that's an expensive thing. But um, as you can hear from the fact that Josie is here this week. I did put out a warning when I was doing the episode of Beware of Spoilers over the last 3 days. I put out a thing like, by the way, Josie may not be on, so I'll just come up with some other bullshit to talk about. So we have an episode this week.
What'd you talk about?
Well, the episode I was gonna do, and now we can have your opinion on it, was going to be about the
Do
new.
you just sit there and shit talk? And like every
Yeah,
once
to
in a while go,
myself.
yeah,
Yeah,
to
yeah. I
this,
said that by myself.
you
Can you fucking believe it?
or do you just sit there and you go, like, oh, and this about this other movie, and which I'll get Josie's opinion when she decides to show
No,
up.
no, no, no. What happened was, we had the issue this weekend where we couldn't line up schedule, so I was like, all right, maybe she won't be on this week, but what I'll do is I'll just put in a what's it called? I'll just put up an episode where I just talk about the news item that we were going to do this week, and then we'll move
Oh,
on from there. and we'll do the Bad Batch the next time you're available. Well, season 1 of the Bad Batch, and then you were able to record today, so now you don't have to do that. But I didn't record the episode. But like, it's what I do is when I finish an episode, I'm like, and here are the rest of the things happening this week.
Oh.
So like, yes, this morning I recorded an episode based on the most recent episode of The Last of Us. For beware of spoilers. So it's
Mm.
like, so also this week we have Akira on 30-minute reviews. We have we're gonna do reviews of The Flash, the next episode of The Bad Batch. Emily on Friday. Saturday we have Cocaine Bear. So like all that kind of stuff. And then it's like, and Exploring Hyperspace Lanes. I don't know if Josie is gonna be available. So what we're gonna do instead of the Bad Batch, which we were gonna do previously, it's gonna be this instead. That's all it was. It wasn't me like, can you fucking believe her? Like,
That's what I assume it is.
yeah, I'm sitting in my car on my way to work just grousing on a
Yes.
podcast. No, that's not what happened. Um, no, it's not shit talking. But we can talk about the well, first off, we have to do
But
something we
now
didn't
it's
do
gonna
last
be.
week. Just start being now. So we forgot to do something last week. Something reasonably important for a show where we rank what's it called? Where we rank all of the Star Wars stuff. We didn't actually rank.
Did we not have small talk?
No, we did, but we didn't actually rank
I was
um
being
oh,
sarcastic.
okay. We didn't actually rank Empire Strikes Back on the list. We
No?
forgot to do that. I went ahead and took the liberty
No.
of putting it at number 1 for everything
Okay.
on the overall list,
I
the
don't
movie list.
contest.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
I do not yeah.
Did you see what I titled the episode?
No.
All right, that's good
Where would
for
I
us.
have seen that?
It's a podcast. You can subscribe to it, like the people who listen do.
But I was okay.
The way you listen to any other podcast, you can subscribe on there. There's a little subscribe button. Um,
Oh,
oh, before we get to that, I have one other question for you that's about other bullshit. You still have an Android, right? Not an iPhone.
yeah.
Galaxy?
What?
It's a Galaxy. Is it a Galaxy or is it a different one?
I think it is.
So, did you get that new update for the operating system that like the new
Yes.
you don't like I take it from your tone you don't like it either.
I don't know what happened, but now my phone is slow.
Exactly. I'm not getting emails. Like all day I won't get emails, and then all of a sudden I'll get like 30 emails and
This
I'm
is
like,
what they
"Oh,
do is they send out a mandatory update, and what it does is it breaks the phone so that way you go and you decide to.
exactly." It's
Hmm.
fitting this happened like a month before the Galaxy
And that's what
S23
happened with my
drops.
last phone that I had.
And it's like I hate this bubbly look everything has.
Mm.
Like when you pull down the top, which sounds dirtier, but when you pull it down from the top and you look at like, well, it is Mardi Gras, so when you pull it down, it looks like that doesn't help because I have the virtual background on. But when you pull it down, everything's all bubbly and it's harder to read, and I'm like, what the fuck? I can't actually read the entire email from here now.
Oh.
So I just wanted to make sure it was more than just me. Um,
Oh, okay, that you weren't alone.
yeah, I wasn't alone in this experience out there.
Oh.
Wandering the beach by myself with my phone that is annoying me. Anyway, um,
That was so specific. I feel like I don't believe you.
oh really? It's a joke. It's not okay. Anyway, so the big news this week is we're heading up to Star Wars Celebration. Well, we are headed up to it more in a more macro sense because neither of us are
Mhm.
flying to London to go to it. Um, because that's where it is this year. So Star Wars Celebration is in May of this year. So the question is, what are they going to announce at Star Wars Celebration? Because every year they announce some new shit, or they have a trailer, or they have something going on there, for whatever new thing they're working on. So like they'll announce new comics, they'll announce new books, they'll announce, new TV shows. Like last year they announced Skeleton Crew. Um, so there's a report that is making the rounds that says that we will get the theatrical announcement for what's coming next to theaters at Star Wars Celebration.
Oh.
So the question that I have for you, what do you think it will be?
I don't know what
They the baffled confusion look on your face is not exactly articulated well on an audio podcast. It's it's a combination of baffled confusion and fuck you for asking me this. So um
I have
so
no idea what you're getting at. Why don't you
well no, I'm
say what
saying
you were
no, I'm saying
your idea is?
what I'm
Because
not
I don't know what you
see, and
mean.
when you put it like that, you make it sound like I'm coming up with questions to make myself look smarter. 'Cause it's like I have an answer already. Like no,
You do. You know that you do. You designed your question
which
around the thing that you want to talk about.
in fairness, a few weeks ago I texted you and I was like, "Do you want to know the question I'm going to ask you in advance? That way you can have something prepared." And you said,
Mhm.
"No, just spring it on me."
Yeah, it's more fun that way.
So the basic premise of the question is, what do you think they're going to announce as a movie? What? How about this? We'll make
Oh,
it more.
okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
yes, that's what I mean.
What do I want them to, or what do I think?
What do you think? Not what do you want? Because what do
Oh,
you? We know what you want. We already did that.
yeah.
We've done that
Um,
twice at this point.
I have no idea. I hope it's something that's like more like the along the Andor side of things, where it's like not as it's something in the Star Wars universe, but it's not necessarily about Jedi's.
Hmm. For a movie, you'd like or like. Well, I mean, Rogue One was kind of that.
But I would think for like a TV series.
They're going to be talking about the TV shows. We already have the TV shows that are happening, and like the Mandalorian starts next week.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Then maybe just the one-off movie.
so a one-off movie like around the time of Andor, like before the original trilogy.
Or earlier than that, or later than that, or I
Okay,
don't know, somewhere in the timeline. That's what I'm
so
thinking.
a movie about Star Wars without Jedi. That's what we came to.
No,
I
but be
want it
more
to
like
have the Star Wars logo in front of it, and I want there to be people in it, and it's gonna be in space.
yeah, like maybe about the cartels or something. Maybe about the cartels or like
If it weren't for Book of Boba Fett
spice
last year,
smuggling.
if it weren't for Book of Boba Fett last year, I'd be with you. But like that has completely soured me on everything to do with organized crime in Star Wars because it's like they have no interest in making organized crime lords who are actually criminals. So like it's like here's Boba Fett. He's a bounty hunter and a crime lord, but he doesn't deal drugs or kill people or do anything illegal. He just kind of is basically just the mayor of this town.
Oh,
Congratulations. Like that was what Book of Boba Fett was. It's like he doesn't have to do anything cool in that show.
oh, okay.
That was did you watch Book of Boba Fett or no?
I don't think I finished it.
Oh, you don't need to. I would
Okay.
say just watch the two Mandalorian episodes that they do in the middle of it that are like, oh, this is just an episode of The Mandalorian. Boba Fett's not in this at all. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, you don't really need to finish that. It's not great. That low speed chase kind of like soured me on the show completely.
Hmm.
Um, but uh, but yeah. Have you heard about The Last of Us by any chance?
We're gonna talk about this again.
No, I'm kidding. But yeah,
Let's talk about the thing.
for me, I would do what's it called? I would do a show or a movie. I would do either immediately before. If we're gonna do Jedi, I want immediately before the prequels, and I want it to kind of be basically Plagueis, the Plagueis book that's gonna do the rise of Palpatine to power.
Oh, okay.
I would want that, or I would want and you know who could play him? Austin Butler,
Okay.
the guy who played Elvis. Cast him as young Palpatine.
Oh,
Um, I would watch that. I would also do immediately after the sequels and try to do something. It's an original idea, I know, but try to make a good movie set after the original trilogy. They haven't done that yet. It'd be nice for them to
Right.
do it once. Um, but like maybe just loosely adapt Heir to the Empire. Like you can't do one to one, but maybe a loose adaptation of Heir to the Empire would be good. Um, that's just me though. So we gather here today.
Oh my God. I started a meeting the other day like that.
Like you never hear that before something good. It's always like you're at a funeral or a wake. It's like
I did.
we're gathered here today to discuss the life
No, I
of the
said,
deceased.
no, I said, I've gathered you here today.
See, we do that as a joke anytime the dog jumps up to the table and he decides to
Oh.
like put his paws on the table. It's always like, I've gathered you here today. Um, but yeah,
It's,
it's
and everybody just looked at me like,
what the
all
fuck
right,
is wrong
can
with
we
you?
move on? Please move on.
Like,
And
and
I
then
went,
you got to
okay.
commit and you got to try to make that bit work. And then when it doesn't, you're like, ah, fuck it, you guys aren't funny. Um, but
I
that's the
just
thing
said,
is,
I did. I went, I said, okay, not funny. And then
see, because that's the thing is you have to, when you make a joke, you have to
I'm
blame everyone else for not thinking it's funny. It's you're not the one who made an unfunny
gonna
joke.
blame.
It's them all, they're all stupid for not getting it. See, that's what you have to do. If you don't do that, you're not a good comic. But we're here
I'm not a
today.
good comic.
Today we're here to talk about season one of The Bad Batch. Do you
I
want to
need
go
a
first?
recap
Okay.
of what happens in season one.
Season one is everything that happens between the fall of the Republic, Order 66, which you get at the very beginning of the episode, and then it goes through the destruction of Camino. The Empire destroys Camino.
Okay.
Um,
My thoughts on it are pretty simple. It was enough to make me want more.
I really liked it. I felt like the middle episodes were a little bit weaker. Like for me, the animated shows always work best when they're taking relationships and taking them deeper and exploring them more. Um, a good amount of the middle episodes of this show felt more like filler episodes of the Clone Wars. Like early Clone Wars, where there's a lot of filler because it was meant to be in reruns, or like early Rebels,
Hmm.
where it's like but the thing is, this show was never meant to be on Disney XD or Cartoon Network. This show was always meant as streaming.
Okay.
So like it felt weird that you had so many of these episodes that are like, we're not really doing anything new, and the character arcs were kind of just retreading over and over again. Why are we doing this? They just have a weird choice overall for a lot of those. But the big, more macro things that they do in this show are some of my favorite things they do in Star Wars with the animated stuff, where it's like take that first episode where they show Order 66 and you get the origin of Kanan Jarrus,
Mm-hmm.
with like his master being killed by the clones and then him running away. Like that whole thing was really cool. Um, the transfer of power from the Empire to from the Republic to the Empire, being that clean transition with like we're issuing everyone a chain code or what was that, blockchain or a chain something. It had a chain in it, and I'm like, that's weird. But it's like if you get one of those, and we'll convert all your credits to Imperial credits. It's like it's an easy way of tracking people. Then, and then there was the whole the thing with the starting of rebellion, where it's like it starts to address kind of the fact that like, did you ever watch Legend of Korra?
Yeah.
So you remember how season one ends with Amon who has all these great points about how the non-benders are treated like shit everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
because benders are better. And then it turns out he's a waterbender just using everyone. And then from then on, they just completely ignore that, when in reality, it would just make everyone more pissed off that, they're being used, because now here's another bender who's just using them and all of that. It's
Mm-hmm.
it What they did here was kind of something similar, because one of the things that they never really addressed was what happened to the Confederacy and the people who still firmly held the beliefs of separating from the Republic in the aftermath. That
Oh,
was never
you want to
really.
see what happens to the separatists in the aftermath.
They kind of do that a little bit, and I like that they started doing that.
Okay.
And it also starts raising the question of retconning Lucas a little bit, where Lucas made it with the clone army, and his entire intent of making it a clone army was that once the Empire takes over, it's still a clone army,
Hmm.
even in the original trilogy. That was the point of that retcon in the prequels. This is doing the thing where it's like, why are we going to go with a conscripted army instead of a an army of clones? And season one um explains it where it's like, look, if you have a conscripted army, they are willing to do things that the clone army is not. Because the clone army is going to look at it with a sense of utilitarianism, where it's like,
Mm-hmm.
is this for the greater good? Is this in line with our central command? Is this in line with our purpose in this? While if you do it with the what's it called? If you do it with the conscripted army, they're like, I'm here to serve the empire. I'm here to do this because I genuinely believe in the cause. So they're going to commit atrocities on your behalf.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like that. Like I like the more philosophical stuff. And I think that this show does it well.
Hmm.
And season in the most recent season, in the current season, the two episodes that they did last week, or 2 weeks ago at this point, got back to that a little bit, where they got into this idea of what like at the end of the show, at the end of season one, they bomb Camino and they destroy Camino, and then it's like the Empire lies and it's like, oh, it was destroyed by a storm, and Bale's like, motherfucker, the planet is on a planet made entirely of water. Like the thing is designed to be submerged for days on ends. What fucking storm destroyed this thing? Like, and
Yeah.
they get proof that that happened, and it's like the two episodes about that are so good. When we do season two, we'll talk about those two, but they're so well done. About just exploring how, like, those two episodes create the Emperor that a lot of people like assign the Emperor, like the level of strategy that we assign him with the benefit of hindsight. Because,
Mm-hmm.
like, if you really think about it, his plan in the prequels relies a lot on, like, convenience that things happen in his favor.
Mm-hmm.
And it does really, and this really shows that, like, he's adaptable, and no matter what the plan is, he will find a way to come out on top.
Yeah.
And this show really does a better job of that. But yeah, I
I
mean,
agree.
I think it's not my favorite show of the Disney Plus crop.
I know that I really liked it when it came out. Like I was really excited about it. I thought it was really cool. It was like um but I don't think that it has that rewatchability.
See, that's the thing too. Is like I think that like there are a few like first of all, the first episode's like an hour and a half long, which in and of itself is like, all right, well, that's gonna hurt it. But like the the Clone Wars has arcs that are way more rewatchable.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in like season seven, which is that last season they did on Disney Plus. Like those last four episodes of the Clone Wars are fantastic. The ones where they go to what's it called? Where it's the Battle of Mandalore that's happening. The entire two four episodes happen at the same time as Revenge of the Sith. Like in time with Revenge of the Sith, where there are key moments in it and musical cues in it that tell you where you are in Revenge of the Sith when things are happening. Like like those are insanely rewatchable. Like Tales of the Jedi is fantastic. I know you didn't like
Yes.
Visions.
Yes.
I know you didn't like
No.
Visions, but Visions, it's got some really cool visuals. I think that this is just of the shows, for me, it's definitely of the animated shows, it's definitely the weakest. It's not the weakest of all of the shows on Disney Plus, but it is of the
Mm-hmm.
animated shows. I think it's the weakest, especially when you get out of season one of Rebels and season one of Clone Wars. Those shows get really good, and I haven't watched Resistance.
Oh.
but I've not heard anything positive
I
or
haven't
negative
watched
about it.
Resistance either.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything good or bad about it, so it could just be the show is like fine. Um, or it's just nothing. Um, but yeah, so do you have any other thoughts on the Bad Batch besides you liked it?
Um, no, I mean, like I said, it doesn't have that rewatchability. Like I'm not about to go rewatch it ever. Um, it was cool the first time around, and you know, I think the story was solid through season one, where in later seasons it's not.
Well, you don't like the current season?
Not really.
I feel like again, there's a lot of filler in the current season where I'm like,
I do too.
why the fuck are we doing this? Like, can we just
Yes,
move it the
I'm
fuck along?
definitely like when I'm watching it, playing on my phone more than I'm actually watching it.
Yeah. Same. I was playing Hogwarts Legacy while I was watching it, and I was like, this is something. Like, and it doesn't have that
Did you?
same.
That's the new. Is that the new Hogwarts game?
Yes, it is pretty fun.
Yeah. I've been playing that one.
Do you not like it?
No, I like it a lot. I like it a lot.
You seem like you're
It's
gun
fun.
shy to talk about it.
It's really, really cool.
Do,
Yeah, I'm just trying not to talk about it too much.
I also have played that game. It is fun. Next question, please. Um,
Trying not to talk about it too much because I figure we'll probably talk about it eventually.
well, yeah, at some point we'll talk about it. I just did a review of it on 30-minute reviews or Beware of Spoilers last week.
Oh, okay. So we can talk about it.
Oh yeah,
So it's a really fun game.
yeah.
It's really cool to watch too. So I'm playing a little bit, but I'm mostly watching somebody else play. And it's like really engaging to watch. I almost think that it plays as both a story and an open world, and I love the open world aspect of it better than the story.
I think that like for me, the exploring in the castle gets a little bit annoying because there's not really a great map system within the castle, and it's easy to get lost while you're looking around.
I think this
Um,
is something like this is this Hogwarts game is the best like Harry Potter game that's ever
yeah.
been. It's what you've always wanted out of your Harry Potter game.
Well, because like
It's
prior to
just
this,
it's
the best one was Chamber of Secrets for the PS2. So, I mean,
I definitely think that it plays better as the open world compared to how it plays in story mode.
yeah. Yeah, the story I and that's the thing too, is like this game I got the same way as I did with Red Dead Redemption 2, where it's like I got the bow and arrow and I started robbing trains with the bow and arrow and I completely forgot about the story because I don't need to do the story anymore because I can just fuck around with a bow and arrow on a horse. Like that's what I'm here to do. Like I do not like it's the same thing with GTA, where it's like I play GTA for a little bit, I get all the stuff I want to do, and then I just fuck around in the open world. Like I'm not gonna, follow the
Yeah.
story. I don't want to, get railroaded into bullshit. Um, but yeah, it's a like I really am enjoying the game. I I don't like the cooldown on some of the stuff because like I've been like there are things that use Incendio on, and like if you don't have it lined up properly and you use it and you miss because you're only half paying attention. You gotta sit there and wait for it to recharge, and I'm like, fuck this. Can we just do this right away without sitting here and waiting for this to recharge? Um,
No, I think that makes sense. That's how it creates balance in the game because like you can consistently cast spells.
well,
So
from a combat perspective, yes, but they should differentiate combat from environmental use. Because in environmental use, there really isn't a need for a cooldown. But in combat, I can understand it, if that makes sense. Like if you're open world exploring and you're just walking around and you're not fighting anything, there really shouldn't be a need for a cooldown on the spell. And the other thing that really pissed
why
me off,
would
like,
it be?
what
No,
was that?
I think there is. I mean, I think it makes sense Because how else would it? Because then you could walk around in the open world and just go Crucio, 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 or like
Well, no, that's different.
all over the
I'm
place. Or
talking about
Avada Kedavra.
I'm talking about the ones that you use on what's it
And
called? That you use on puzzles.
oh, oh, okay. But I mean, you can upgrade to like shorten the time.
Yeah, but still, it's annoying. Also, I'm not a huge fan. And again, this game.
You just wanted the game to be too easy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I
You
want.
want it to be easy.
And also there was the what's it called? Um there are two things in this game that I'm not a huge fan of. Number one, I hate fucking every game has a parry in it now. Have you noticed that? Like every
Okay.
video game has a parry system.
What do you mean?
Like someone attacks you, you gotta hit a button with good timing and it'll reflect the attack and create an opening to attack them.
Oh,
I don't necessarily need that in every game, and the same goes for a crafting system. But I understand why it's there here. It's to create the immersion with herbology and with potions, but I'm like, I don't necessarily need any of this.
hmm.
Which house did you go into?
I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed with the flying.
Yeah, it's well done.
Yeah, like you can really tell that they did like motion capturing of like a person, like when you even just like with the character on the broom.
Hmm. When a real person flies on a broom, that's what it looks like.
I'm just saying they made the legs move. Like they could have been just really boom about it,
Like it
but
was in the old
they make
games.
it look so sporty and stuff and look really good. So
I did find an
I was
inaccuracy with the
impressed.
source material though. This game takes place before they put toilets into Hogwarts,
Oh, really?
according to J.K. Rowling. Because in Pottermore,
Oh.
she explained that because of magic, they didn't have toilets in Hogwarts because people would just shit and magic it away.
Oh.
So there are toilets in this game when there
Okay.
shouldn't be. Yeah, now you got to live with that knowledge. You're welcome.
Wish I didn't.
Also, it's a little weird that they never mentioned that like assistant headmistress at one point was related to the Weasleys. Like it's a
What
really
do you
weird.
mean? They didn't say.
They never mentioned in the books like, oh, by the way, our great like grandmother was assistant headmistress at one point. Like no one, how is that not ever mentioned at some point? They're like, oh yeah, you know the position that McGonagall has? Yeah, our great grandmother had that job. Like
Well, it, I don't know why. I
it's just an inherent
I don't know
problem
why
with
you would want to
prequels.
say why you would say anything.
I don't know. You wouldn't mention that.
No, there's like a shit ton of them.
That's true. The pull-out game is not very strong in the Weasley family.
Those ginger folk.
Um. So so where would you rank the Bad Batch compared
What's our
to?
ranking? Can I see it?
All
Share
right,
your screen.
let me share the screen. Hang on, I'm sharing the screen with the Google Doc. Oh, good. I got it nice and frozen on you in mid-drink. There we go. Can you see?
Yes.
So here's the ranking.
The top part of the overall.
Well, the whole thing. I mean, we you know omit the movies. So would you say it's better or worse than Andor?
Uh, better than Andor, less than Kenobi.
Well, Kenobi's a book. Okay, so
Oh,
we'll
yeah,
put it here.
yeah.
So we'll put the Bad Batch season one, and you say it's better than Andor on the show list, which is insane, but okay. In terms of canon stuff, it'll go Under a New Hope. Okay, so our rankings overall are as follows, and Josie is bleached out to a point where she looks a little bit like Slender Man.
You
Um,
put a white ass screen on me.
yeah. So
And I just this whiteness is just reflecting it back.
for overall, we didn't put the games on the list for overall because there wasn't really a good way to put Battlefront and Battlefront 2 against the other things because they're kind of blanket things overall. So for overall number 5, somehow I don't understand how the fuck this is the case, but number 5 we have Andor, number 4 we have The Bad Batch season 1, number 3 we have Kenobi the book from 2014, A New Hope at number 2, Empire Strikes Back at number 1. Um I still don't know how we ended up with. There we go. Now you're not bleached out anymore. Um
Thanks.
I don't know how we ended up with Andor so low on this list. Does Josie just have bad taste? I don't know. The conversation for another day.
Today I'm drinking a probiotic drink.
I thought it was a Coke up until this minute.
Yeah. Um it's a fermented beverage of Mexico. It's
Hmm.
cactus prickly pear
I hear
by Della
fermented, and
Calle.
my last instinct is drink this.
It's fermented pineapple rind, and it's very good.
That's okay. That's not making it sound any better.
I know it's very good.
Is it non-alcoholic?
Yeah,
Hmm. So I hear fermented. I think of beer as well.
they didn't card me.
Well, that could also just be they were, they didn't want to card you.
I always get carded.
I can honestly say I have not gotten carded since I turned 21, and it is the most disappointing thing on the planet.
Yeah.
And I got carded. I actually get carded when I go to the movies, though.
When you go to the movies?
Yeah, because I have AMC A-list, so they have to make sure you are who you say you are. So you
Oh,
get ID'd when
that's
you
the
go
only
in.
reason that you get carded, though.
Yeah.
Not for
And
your age.
no. I'm actually surprised that no one's called me out yet because I do not look the same as I did when I was 16, and the picture is from when I was 16
What picture?
on my ID. It's the same one you've seen a million times before, and you're like, oh,
I've
that's so
not
funny.
seen it a million times.
We've definitely had this conversation before.
I've
Yeah,
never seen this.
hang on. Let me see if I can line it up and not fuck up the thing. Of course not. Okay. I'll send a picture of it to you later because this is not good content for an audio podcast. Me trying to line it up and not have it disappear into the virtual background. So it's not making for good content. Well, I sit there and I'm
We're
like
good. That's
closer,
okay.
closer, closer, closer. Um,
We didn't even narrate.
no, we're
Just
just sitting
went
there,
silent.
the two of us staring at it like, ooh, is it working? Um, so um, what else was there that we want to talk about with Star Wars? So we have the big Star Wars celebration announcement coming up. Allegedly a new movie
Our
shooting.
next thing that we're going to talk about, the next, what are we talking about
Well, let me bring up my
next?
calendar. Hang on. Calendar. Okay, so that's not it. That's it. Okay, so the next one we have, I have to reshuffle the calendar again because I updated it, assuming you weren't going to be here this week. So I have to reshuffle the calendar again. The next episode is going to be Dooku Jedi Lost. The book. Well,
The book?
I think it's technically a radio play. So it's a script book.
Huh?
It's a script book because it's
It's a
technically
script book?
Yeah, you didn't read it?
No, I
Did you look?
listened
Okay,
to it.
that explains it. It's how it's a full cast recording?
You're losing your mind.
You know how you listen to it and it was a full cast recording? And there were like a bunch of people all reading the
Uh,
parts and different actors. The book is a script. It's the script for that radio play. You still seem confused.
Oh. Oh, okay. Well, I
Yeah.
didn't know that. All I did was listen to it.
Okay. And then after that, we have Lego Star Wars, the complete saga, not the Skywalker saga, the original Lego Star Wars game. Then we have Return of the Jedi, and then we have season 1 of The Mandalorian.
Mm.
Um, and then I'm gonna give you the list of what we're doing on 30-minute reviews. You can decide if there's anything you want to be on, because hopefully I don't get mocked like I did last time. I said Akira, and you're like, "What? No."
What?
Um, I said Akira, and you're like, "What's Akira?" And then you looked up, you're like, "Oh, fuck no, I don't want to be on that."
I don't remember. I don't
Yeah,
remember what
that happened.
Akira is.
Akira, the anime movie, the seminal piece of anime movie-ness.
Akira. Oh,
Akira.
no.
Yeah, I know. That's
I
why.
don't want to be on that.
Yeah, I know. That one's going up tomorrow. The one after that is Creed and Creed 2 on 28th. Did you want to be on that one?
I've already answered these questions.
Well, that one you did. The next ones, because I have the next month now. I just want commitment on the record. So I have the next month now. So the 7th, we're gonna do Scream, the original Scream from 1996.
On the 7th? Oh my gosh. I have to like get out a calendar and everything.
I don't know if my face palm got picked up by the mic, but I hope it did, because
I didn't hear it.
damn.
You'll have to insert something.
Yeah, I'll have to. I would. I guess it's like based on what you said. If I put in a slapping noise, it'd sound like more I was slapping you than it's a face palm.
That'd be funny too. Um, so wait a minute, March 7th?
Yes,
What about it?
my mom pulled this shit when my sister was telling a story once. She wasn't paying attention at all, and then it's like she tried to suss out what it was. So she's like, "So who did this happen to? And when did it happen? And what happened exactly?" And it's like, okay, so you didn't listen at all when we were telling the story the first time. Um, so
Yeah,
Scream, the
probably.
original Scream from 1996.
No.
Okay. The next
I
week,
mean, maybe, but I can't guarantee it.
okay. The next week is the one that I really want you on. We talked about this one already. Ranking the DC Extended Universe.
What when's that one?
We're doing this again. Hang on. Let me bring up the thing.
You didn't
And
even tell me.
100% I did because it's in the Google Drive as well. It's
I don't even
ranking.
know how to get into the Google Drive.
I gave you the link. I emailed you the link. It's a link. You click the link. It's okay. Um, so it's ranking the movies like we did. Remember how we did the Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Yeah.
Is that a real yeah, or is that like yeah, let's move on without you questioning that I don't remember being on this 2 months ago, and don't call attention to
Uh-huh.
it either. Um, so it's like that where we rank what the movies from the DC Extended Universe from Man of Steel to Peacemaker from 1 to 13. And then we
I
put
just have no idea what you're talking about.
which part is hard to understand.
We're doing this movie on this day.
Well,
What
this
do
is
you
an episode of the show. We're gonna do ranking because the DC Extended Universe is dying. We talked about this last week. The DC Extended Universe is dying at the end of this year. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna rank everything that
what does
came
that have
out
to do with our schedule?
because that's on the schedule for the 14th.
That's what I'm asking. I
That's on the
swear
schedule for the
you're like
14th.
totally not even telling me the date.
I 100% did. I on then on the 14th
Yeah,
we're
I'm
gonna
telling
do.
I'm down to record whenever I'm not working. I
Okay.
can't guarantee
Well, no,
what my schedule will be.
this one has homework though, because even if you can't be on, this is one that Peter's gonna try and be on too. If Even if you can't be on, if you give me your rankings, you can still have your opinion weigh against the others.
That's in April.
No, it's not. It's in March. Where the fuck did you get April from? Are you okay? Okay. This episode's going well. This is what happens when we both work all day,
I
then try to do an
literally have
episode.
no idea what you're talking about. Mhm.
Okay. How about this? Rather than doing it this way, I will email you the list and I will email you instructions.
That sounds great.
That's a better way to do this rather than trying to explain
Yes,
it.
it's much better.
Um, so
Why you do this?
because
Oh
this is funnier.
my god.
And then also John Wick and Garden State. I'm gonna assume you don't want to be on Garden State, but John Wick you might want to
I
be
thought you
on.
were just gonna email it to me.
Well, no, I'm just finishing it out for the people who are listening.
Oh,
Yeah. And for those of you listening who are looking for what we're doing this week, bring up this week's schedule. So, this week we have yesterday the episode about Akira would have gone up. Tomorrow we have a review of The Bad Batch season 2 episode 10. On Friday we have The Flash season 9 episode 3 in the morning, and then Emily review at night. That's a new theatrical movie. Then we have Cocaine Bear on Saturday the 25th and All Is Quiet on the Western Front on the 26th. All of those are going to be over on Beware of Spoilers. You can get all the information at multipleworldproductions.com. Good, Josie has stopped laughing. So, which I think the thing is, it's like it's not picking up you laughing, so it's just it doesn't know what's happening. It just thinks that you, I guess, just like completely stopped because you lean back and it gets out of range of the mic.
okay.
Okay, I think we've done good. And now to contrast with all the joking, Josie, do you want to go out on your Star Wars joke of the week?
To contrast with all the
And now to take
no,
things
you
more
were gonna
serious.
you have to ask the question. The question comes first.
What's the question? You didn't tell me the question.
You're the one that comes up with the question, man.
No, it's what question are you fucking talking about?
Like the what was your first Star Wars video game? What was your favorite or something? Like the personal question.
Oh, I forgot we do this. A smarter version of me would have come up with a bunch of questions and wrote them all down, but I didn't do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
too bad.
I'm exhausted. It's been a day and I still have to do laundry.
Oh my goodness.
I don't have a question now. I think we covered a good amount of time in the beginning on nonsense though with with the issue in the movie theater. Um, what was the first Star Wars movie you saw in a theater? How about that?
Episode 1.
You were going to movies when you were 5? Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
As it
What
was coming out of
episode?
my as it was coming in
No,
my
yeah.
mouth, I was like, no, that oh yeah, that does make sense. Did I tell you about the
Yeah.
Ant-Man screening I went to way back when the first Ant-Man came out in 2016 and someone shouted at a fucking 2-year-old?
No.
Yeah, because here's the thing. It was an amalgam of assholery in the situation where the the parent who brought the 2-year-old to the movie is an asshole for bringing a 2-year-old to a movie, and the person who shouted at the 2-year-old for doing what a 2-year-old does, which is scream, is also an asshole. So there's assholery to go around is the point of the story. But yeah, some guy screamed at a 2-year-old. Um, so did you have a joke to go out on a more serious note?
What do Jawas have that no other creature in the galaxy has?
A kick-ass giant sandcrawler?
Baby Jawas.
We're going with the anti-joke.
That's not funny.
I mean, I guess Tusken Raiders have them to eat,
Oh,
making it sad. Taking it down a notch.
yeah.
Um, it's like the thing. It's like what's brown and sticky? A stick.
Okay, how do you I found this one. How do you stir fry on Endor?
I don't know how.
With an
Oh,
Ewok.
I got that. After I said how, I was like, oh, I got it. See, 'cause I know it's a joke, but
Why you
the
gotta
my
think so hard on it?
my
Why can't
my
I
ego my ego
just
gets in
give
the
you
way, and
it?
it's like it's a fucking quiz. I'm gonna get the answer. Um, like I'm not gonna be
Yeah, just
outsmarted.
have to be right. I already knew that. Every time. Sorry, I call you out too
Anyway,
hard.
that was that was this week's episode. We'll be back next week with Dooku Jedi Lost, and Peter might be on that episode. I gotta talk to
Okay.
him, and if we can figure out when we can record that. So until then, have a great rest of your week.
Yeah, you too.